In the beginning, there was hockey. And before that, there wasn't. Welcome to Off Campus! I know we're not in our usual setting, but do not fret. This is for your viewing pleasure and to make things easier to understand. Let me explain the board. Our cast includes a lot of white people, so let me catch you up to speed. We have our leading man. His name is Garrett Graham, and it is a great name for a hockey player, and it definitely doesn't make me think of graham crackers. I wasn't hungry for s'mores every time they said his name. Definitely not. Definitely not. I will be calling him Graham Cracker interchangeably with his name, Garrett, so just know we're talking about him when we're talking about graham crackers. All right, next we have Phil Graham. He is being replaced with a different Phil Lester of Dan and Phil. So whenever we talk about Phil, just know it's not this Phil. Next, we have his friends. This is John Logan, and he's next to me. Then we have Dean De Laurentiis. He's like Garrett, but if he was blonde. And then we have Justin Cole, and I don't think this actor is legally allowed to play in a series where he's not somebody's crush. And then we have Hannah Wells. Her nickname is Wellesley, and you might be asking, why is heated rivalry up here? They're here for moral support. We have Kendall, but since I actually don't have a problem with Kendall. She has no dimensionality to her character, so we're just gonna replace her with another Kendall Roy. Those two, they're up here. We have Hunter Davenport, and I promise he plays a role in the story, not a big one, but we don't have time. We have David. He is Hannah's teacher, and he's up here because I like him. He really shouldn't be up here at all, actually, but I like him, so he's up here. And then we have Jules Logan, who is John Logan's sibling. Oh, they're the owner of the Fifth Line, which we will get into. Okay, like a transition episode 1. Another script I printed off for this. So we have Hannah. She works at Malone's, which is like a diner place, and she is a girl boss who's getting that money. But she also works at the hockey rink where it's unclear, she cleans, she does laundry. And Garrett Graham Cracker, he is a hockey player, and they meet in the locker room. He's naked because he's taking a shower. Now, Hannah doesn't see this because she's too busy rocking out to her music. She doesn't hear him. They see each other. She sees him naked, and then she runs out, and she's like, oh my God. Personally, I hate this kind of meet cute. It happens in rom-coms from time to time. I genuinely don't even think you can call it a meet cute because it's like borderline harassment. Probably not even borderline. But to me, it's the writing equivalent of slamming two naked Barbies together and telling me that they have chemistry. Where is the chemistry? I can't see it. And it shows me nothing about the individual characters. Anyway, two of them actually share a philosophy class together, and they sit behind one another. And they get back a test, and Hannah got an A, and Garrett got, I don't know what grade he got, but it was bad. He basically asked Hannah to tutor him in philosophy because he doesn't understand it. Instead of calling her Hannah, he calls her Mona. I don't know why. He just doesn't remember her name, and he calls her Mona, and it doesn't come up in the series like ever again. She says no to his request. I don't know why. And then she heads off to her music rehearsal. She's late to her rehearsal, and she's playing the flute. And after rehearsal, she finds out from her professor that her scholarship is getting cut. So Hannah might not be able to attend next semester. The only way she can is if she wins the pop showcase. Now we're at the frat house. These boys are in a frat, and they have a house together. At this party, we finally meet John Logan, and John Logan is fixing a sink, and we realize from some of the other characters that that's what he does. He's a fixer-upper. And they shouldn't have made John Logan so attractive if he wasn't going to be like the main character, because instantly, like, look at the man. And he fixes sinks. And I was obsessed from the moment I saw him. And I know the book girlies are gonna be like, yeah, but John Logan this, John Logan that. I don't care. Let me have this one. Okay, and then Dean comes out of the shower. Dean De Laurentiis. And I will say that every time his name is mentioned, Dean De Laurentiis comes out of the shower, and up to this point, literally every man we've seen on screen has been shirtless. pretty much we've seen them all shirtless, except for John Logan. So I don't know, like maybe next season? Anyway, everybody's looking for Garrett. He's hooking up with this random girl whose name I don't remember. Next page, he's hooking up with Kendall. That's basically what's happening over there. All right, at Malone's, Justin is singing with his band, and he's singing Into You by Ariana Grande, but I thought it was Paramore. I don't know why. Okay, then we finally meet Allie Hayes. Allie Cat is Hannah's best friend, and basically they're just talking about how Hannah needs to write a song for the pop showcase, and she needs to be vulnerable and open herself up to writing about love. And Hannah's like, oh, I can't do that, and stuff like that. Allie basically convinces Hannah to pull an all-nighter so that she can finish the song and then go hang out with her at this party to meet Justin Cole and like rizz him up or whatever. Garrett is hooking up with Kendall, and Kendall is basically like, do you want to be boyfriend, girlfriend? Like, come on, I want to do more than just hook up with you. And then Garrett pulls like this funny like monologue where he's like, do you even know my name? Do you even know what I like to do? Do you know me? You don't know me. And it's like, of course she doesn't know you. You guys are dating. Like, you guys just gotta hook up. I don't know. What's her middle name? It's Madison.
It's Madison. Her middle name is Madison.
All right, this is our first introduction to Phil in the story. Not Phil Lester, but Garrett gets a text from his dad, and his dad is basically like, you can't ignore me any longer. Vague and not introducing much context into the story, but whatever. Logan's character is like, you got to figure it out with your dad. You should talk to him and stuff like that, which I feel is inconsistent to his character from new information that we get later on in the story with his parent. We kind of figure out that his parent has he has a different relationship with them because they are going through rehab, and he does not want to talk to them whatsoever. Hannah is late again. That's literally like, what's new? At work, she comes face to face with Justin Cole, and she starts blabbering and loses her frame. You cannot lose frame in front of a hot man. No, not on my watch. Graham Cracker comes in, and he asks her to tutor him in philosophy again, and she says no again. He even offers to pay her money, which she needs money. She's working like 2 jobs. I was like, you're not gonna do it for the money? Garrett returns back to the frat house, and then he sees that Phil is there and he wants to talk to him, but Garrett doesn't want to. And this is where Phil takes the opportunity to tell Garrett that he's engaged to a woman named Cindy. The two get into an argument. Phil was a very famous hockey player, and he wants him to do as well as he did and like carry on the name or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Now, he reveals this information to him just before a game, which is like a really weird time if you super care about hockey to reveal to your hockey star, like team captain son, that you're engaged to a woman named Cindy that he has never heard of, never met, doesn't care about. So because of this, he can't focus under the stress of learning this new reveal of information. And so it takes a toll on him and his teammates. During halftime, he decides to take a stroll throughout the stadium. And who does he see dancing to the BITCH is Back by Elton John? By the way, fire song. Hannah Wells. Next page. After he sees her dancing, he gets a pep in his step, and he's like, well, now that I saw her dancing and she's so free and happy, I gotta do well at this hockey game. Like, I gotta actually listen to my teammates and like be a good captain. You know, changes your whole outlook on life. Hannah goes back to her dorm where she watches Dirty Dancing. I've never watched that movie. Is it good? And Allie basically convinces her that they need to go to this party to meet Justin Cole, and she needs to like flirt with him, you know, very middle school grade antics, but it's all right. Now, with Allie is her boyfriend, Sean. Sean is not on the board. Just imagine a boring guy who's just kind of like a guy. That's her boyfriend. And if you're looking at the images and thinking that they don't really mix or match at all, that's the point. He's not super important anyway. Hannah, Allie, and Sean go to this party where Remy Wolf is performing. and all the frat boys are there, and Garrett is stalking Hannah's Instagram, basically to find out her name. Now, John Logan already knows her name because they go to Malone's, and he says, bro, how do you not know her name? She literally waits on us every time we're there. And if they didn't want me to fall for John Logan, why'd they give him this line? I know why they do. But still. Then we get to Allie, who is waiting in line for the photo booth for Sean, but Sean is not coming for some reason. He's busy. So Allie sees Dean DeLaurentis in there with a girl whose name I do not remember. And she tells him, get out of there. And Dean doesn't listen to her at first and keeps making out with his girl. And then he gets out of the photo booth. And that's their meet cute, I guess. Allie noticeably looks a little bit interested in Dean. Garrett, still stalking Hannah's Instagram, finds a video of her singing a song. And he plays it out loud to everybody, just in the vicinity so that they can hear her song that she made when she was in high school. I would die. We started the party in the daytime. Now it is night, and Hannah finally decides to talk to Justin Colt. She waited hours to talk to this man. Okay, so Hannah comes over and she's blabbing about something, and immediately she's wearing a white shirt, and immediately she gets a drink dumped on her. And of course she's wearing a colorful bra, because if we can't sexualize our own main character, then what are we doing? I don't know who we're targeting with this, but anyway, Garrett comes through and he covers Hannah with his jacket, not really super covering her. Garrett acts like he's with Hannah in front of Justin to make her seem like she's off limits. Afterwards, she's like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? He's like, you tutor me in philosophy and I'll tutor you in boys, because he knows boys. And that's why it's called The Deal. Why is it called Off Campus? I don't know. Anyway, episode 2. All right. Hannah and Garrett are now working together on philosophy. They're trying to schedule their tutoring sessions, but Hannah works 2 jobs and he's a hockey player, so they can't really sort it out. So he gets her phone number and basically pulls a Peter Kavinsky type move where he kisses her and makes it the contact photo or whatever. And then he pulls another Peter Kavinsky move and calls her Wellesley. Definitely a Covey ripoff. I'm watching you, Garrett Graham. I know your moves. Next page. Anyway, she sets the boundary that she doesn't want to kiss him in public. And then of course he says, that won't make Justin jealous if we just hold hands, Wellesley. He tells her about the gossip page 5th line, which is supposed to give all the info on the hockey players and what's going on in their personal lives. Garrett's argument is that they have to convince Jules that they are together or else nobody's gonna believe them. So Garrett's plan is they get together, they break up. Hannah is super crying, super upset. Justin swoops in, they date, everything goes off well, and he gets a good grade on his philosophy course. Allie wants to spice up her love life with Sean. She also bought a whole book about it. Sean doesn't gaff and only wants to use a pillow. She literally loses the spark in her eye, and that's why Sean's not up here. Okay, he's irrelevant. Okay, David. He asked Hannah to play her song for the class, and literally nobody has anything nice to say about it. In philosophy class, Garrett Graham Crackers brings her a coffee because that's what you do in relationships, I guess. And she said that she's lactose intolerant, and then they argue. But then he's like, you gotta, come on, Justin's right there. So she snuggles up close to him, and she's like, is Justin looking? And he's like, no, girl. And so she gets closer, and then she knocks over a water bottle, which makes the loudest sound ever in the room. And he finally turns and he's like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. What are you doing? Also, Garrett has a huge hydro flask, which I love the attention to detail, because he would have the most insane hydro flask because he has to drink so much water. Because he's thirsty. Dean DeLaurentis and Beau announce their birthday bash, which is going to be basically you dress up as a duo. Duo, you know, you duo. Garrett tells Hannah to come to the party because Justin is in the frat, so then she can get his attention. Now, Hallie, who works in like the theater, she's like a theater major, I guess. She is going to help them dress for the party. Hannah wants to dress as Beetlejuice. Allie says no. Allie dresses her up as a bunny, which is very Elle Woods. But specifically, Allie says that she needs to be boy hot for tonight, which is very real. Back to hockey, Graham Cracker is giving an interview to a station, and the coach comes over to Hannah, who's sitting in the stands, and he's basically like, yo, you gotta get up out of here. Like, I don't know why you're still here. And she's like, no, I'm not one of the girlfriends. I'm like his tutor. And then he's like, oh, you can stay then. And then she's like, okay, so why doesn't Garrett Graham want like any special treatment or whatever? And the coach is like, do you know who his father is? Foreshadowing. And she's like, no, I don't know. He explains it's because of his dad and doesn't explain much else. And for some reason, I expected the coach to get a little upset at the implication that any of his players would get special treatment. Like, he doesn't prepare them, like hockey being really tough, used to his players getting special treatment. I don't know. Garrett takes her into the weight room. He takes her into the weight room so they can practice philosophy. They end up practicing flirting. He gets close to her and he does this move where he like has the weight in his hands and he's been doing like bicep curls this entire time that they've been talking. And then he puts it, she's like right there and he like puts it down, like gets all close to her. And he's like, you can't blush every time you can't blush every time I touch you. Let me just say, I like Garrett. But at this point, I was just like, I was like, okay, so why do we like this guy? I'm a little, like, I know he's hot, but like, what else? They make out, and then John Logan walks in, and he's like, sorry for interrupting. And then Wellesley's like, you're not interrupting anything. And then they kiss. And I was very excited about this. And I'm glad we got to see John Logan kiss somebody. Anyway, I was rooting for John Logan, but we all know what happens. Next page. Oh my God. Jules live streams the entire game from Fifth Line. Hannah and Kendall sit together with the other Puck Bunnies, and Puck Bunnies are their names for like fangirls of hockey. I don't know. It's party time, and Hannah's wearing her bunny outfit, and Graham Cracker, ew. And Graham Cracker is totally blown away. Now, Graham Cracker also gets her a drink, which is very good boyfriend etiquette. She says she doesn't drink at parties and almost has a panic attack while Graham Cracker is doing hockey stick shots. Jules checks on Hannah and basically asks her, like, are you good, girl? Sean and Allie come to this party dressed up as J-Lo and Ben Affleck. And honestly, if I was going to summarize his character, it would be like Adam Sandler, like, you know, that type of guy. Sean loses his hat and eventually loses his girl because of it. And he has to go back to the car to find it. Alley Cat is clearly the first bad bitch he's ever had. So she dances on the floor and catches the eye of who else but Dean De Laurentiis, who's dressed up as Maverick, which is very, if you've seen Top Gun, it's like a scene. Now, Graham Cracker is trying to find an alcoholic can for Hannah because he knows that she doesn't like to drink at parties or just drink at all. And then John Logan has to remember Garrett that he needs to get a closed can. Bro. Also, I was a little surprised to learn that people were obsessed with the Dean and Allie dancing scene. I was like, girls, have you seen what's happening in this show? Like, maybe we need somebody to like give a little more spice. I was like, does she look hot in this dress? Like, yes, but like there was really nothing happening in that dance. Like, I don't know what. Regardless, Graham Cracker leads Hannah upstairs while Justin is looking to make him jealous. They sleep on opposite sides of the floor, which, if you know, is very Summer I Turned Pretty. And they get to talking. He sends her cat videos, which is very good boyfriend etiquette. He talks about hockey and all the pressure from his father, Phil Lester, and he notably says how he doesn't know who he'd be without the game. Hannah talks about how she's scared of being vulnerable, and she doesn't know if she can actually write the song. So Graham Cracker suggests that she should enlist Justin's help with the song so that they can spend time together and also she can be vulnerable with him. They spoon. It's a cute scene. Episode 3. Now, I don't want to get demonetized. Matter of fact, I'm not even monetized, so this is a good point in the video to say please subscribe to my channel so I can have the opportunity to get demonetized. So we're going to call this the Oh My God, You Guys, which is a song in Legally Blonde. Hannah is having a fantasy about Justin Cole, but she's not able to oh my God, you guys, which leaves her frustrated. So she cancels on Graham Cracker for she cancels on Graham Cracker for Justin Cole. The only thing that happens in the tutoring session is that Justin can't read her handwriting and wants to write a little bit more himself. Hannah comes to the frat house for tutoring, and John Logan, I was kicking my feet at this part. John Logan is basically like, hey Hannah. They have a cute little moment. Logan picks up her bike and like puts it on the front porch. And yeah, anyway. Then she goes up to Garrett's room and he's hooking up with a girl whose name I don't remember. He kicks her out and they actually get to study philosophy, and she goes upstairs and Graham Cracker is hooking up with the girl whose name I don't remember. He runs out to get her and she complains that he's not taking this seriously because he isn't, and he promises to stop. Garrett says his problem with philosophy is he doesn't understand how two philosophers can be right and say different things. Blah, 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 blah. She meets up with Justin again, and he basically just wrote the whole song for her. She opens her laptop to show him Logic and instead finds a Spotify playlist that she made called Crushing, and it has his face as a girl, which is a nightmare. He quickly leaves immediately after, like, I can't even blame him. All right, next page. Okay. Hannah has another fantasy about Mr. Justin Cole, except Justin Cole is replaced with Garrett Graham at the last minute. In philosophy class, Graham Cracker is called on, and he's supposed to speak on the philosopher Kierkegaard. He is the philosopher who wrote that album, Either Or. He struggles to find the words at first, but then he looks at Hannah and he says, oh my God, I know exactly what Kierkegaard would say about ghosting. And Hannah helped me find that. They celebrate his B+, and then Justin texts Hannah about the song, but Garrett tells Hannah to ghost him, even though he just gave a speech about why it's immoral. They go to Malone's, where she works, for karaoke night. Hannah borrows something from Allie because she's not allowed to own anything that could be remotely be too revealing on her. She must dress like a Midwestern mom at all times. She must. I mean, and what is she, a college student? Garrett, once again, practices good boyfriend etiquette and guards her drinks for the night so that she can relax, and she gets pina coladas. Alley Cat is in the bathroom. She's ranting about her boyfriend and the whole sitch to this gorgeous girl, as you do. And Dean DeLaurentis comes out of the bathroom and he's like, okay, like, so you got a horrible boyfriend. They basically just like glare at each other, and she's tired of seeing him everywhere she goes. And Dean is just like really hot, and that's pretty much their interaction. I'm skipping some stuff because it's not important. Jules said something offhanded to Garrett earlier and gives no free promo as an apology. Hannah sings Cherry Pie. Logan is seriously questioning Garrett and Hannah's relationship, even though he's been given no reason to question it, other than the fact that he likes Hannah and is jealous. They all leave, but Alley Cat lost her wallet, so Graham Cracker once again practices good boyfriend etiquette and goes to get it. When he returns to the frat house, drunk Hannah has left her clothes like a little trap all the way up the stairs to his room, so he has to pick up every single thing on his way up there. She flirts with him and basically wants them to, oh my God, you guys. And Garrett says, no, you're drunk, Hannah. Go to sleep. As he should. Hannah wakes up in bed next to Garrett Graham and gets a text message from Justin. Garrett wakes up to coffee from Hannah, and he's super confused because they don't sleep together and she doesn't give him coffee. He gets her coffee. And then she says she needs to talk about something serious. And basically Hannah wants Garrett to give her an oh my god, you guys. Now, next episode, Hannah and Graham Cracker talk about a new deal where Hannah explains that she is a victim of SA from another hockey player, and that's why she has issues drinking in public. Next page. Garrett handles this really well and allows her to be vulnerable without making it awkward, and reiterates to her that it's going to be her choice to decide when she's ready, and that she should be comfortable when she decides to engage in it again. And he comes across as so genuine. This is actually a really good scene. However, I do hate when topics come up just for the sake of the plot instead of like making it a bigger issue. Like there should have been a better reason why she's so standoffish, because the reason she gives is that hockey players are like messy in the beginning. She doesn't really explain why. Her explanation for why she doesn't like hockey players, I know it's a front for the real reason, but it's not very good. And I think it should have taken more time for her to get over the fact that Garrett's a hockey player. They give us flashbacks throughout the show, but I think this would have been a better thing to be bigger than just the fight, the confrontation that Garrett has with another hockey player. He wants to make her happy, leave her satisfied, so he goes to the one man who is known for making women satisfied, Dean DeLaurentis. Dean gives him actually good advice how to give her an oh my god, you guys. Garrett's line is really funny. He says, not an option, she has to come. And I just find it so funny that a guy who is like, looks like this is a hockey player. The type of guy to be like, yeah, make sure you have her consent, bro. But when I watch these shows, I suspend my disbelief, and I will do it once again. And then we get a really nice scene where she comes all dressed up. She looks hot, and Garrett is basically like, are you comfortable though? And she's like, I would be more comfortable in something else. And so he gives her a hockey jersey so that she can actually be more comfortable. They, oh my god, you guys, together. Now, the way it was edited is so funny because it's just kind of like a split screen and they're both like doing their thing. And it made me laugh. But it was actually pretty cute. Now, Jules' exposition yells at Logan that he can't be with someone like Hannah because he has a responsibility to actually do well at hockey because this is the only chance he's gonna get. But it felt so weird because Jules was a legitimately chill character. I just didn't feel like Jules would yell at Logan for something he presumably already knows. That's just me. Dean DeLaurentis tells Graham Cracker to tell Hannah how he feels. But then Allie invites everybody to her drunk Shakespeare night. And the gay best friend character, who I haven't mentioned at all because they were so irrelevant to the plot, but they're still a character, they enter back into the plot and they are hosting this Midsummer Night's Dream-esque. It's basically Midsummer Night's Dream, but with these characters instead. Alley Cat is eating up Sean in her monologue about how she doesn't want to be with him and kind of wants to be an actress and kind of wants to not have a normal life. And Dean, I guess, is the only one catching on that she is feeling this way, and everybody else is just like, wow, she's a good actress. Graham Cracker is getting very jealous because Hannah and Justin are paired together. So he leaves to go to the ice hockey rink where he hears the song Baby Now That I Found You, which is their song. And he kisses her, and now they're dating. And I just find it funny that this frat is not toxic, full of guys who are womanizers but don't talk trash about women. They enjoy gay theater spaces, and I just find that interesting. Especially the gay theater spaces. Like, you can't tell me that's not hilarious. Episode 5. Now, Hannah doesn't want to go home because it reminds her of her trauma. We're gonna be skipping some stuff. Garrett and Hannah are together for Thanksgiving. Cindy makes mac and cheese with the breadcrumbs. Oh my god, that sounds so good. I love Thanksgiving, man. Not the holiday, I just like the food. That's how his mother used to make it. And Garrett is actually trying really hard to get along with the family, which I appreciate. But then Garrett finds out that his father is being abusive to his new girlfriend, Cindy, because her sleeve rolls up. So he sends the emergency signal to Hannah that they gotta get out of there. And Hannah made up an excuse and asked for the keys to the car so that she could drive and he could chill, which is very good girlfriend behavior. Garrett warns Cindy that she needs to leave him, but Cindy doesn't listen to him. And I put in my notes that this is a great way to show up for your partner while still being yourself, because Hannah is polite and kind and she doesn't really know all of what's going on. But Garrett is, going through a lot, and she's still there for him. Garrett's upset, and Hannah reminds him that he is not his father, and they go to eat at Malone's. I will say the anger issues, we do need to have a conversation at some point about the anger stuff, but not now, obviously. Huck, he's not on this wall, so we'll just, the frat is throwing a Thanksgiving party and everything goes wrong, essentially. So they deep fry the turkey and use its bits as hockey pucks after it catches on fire. And they just decided to play with the burnt pieces of turkey meat on the ice. The frat boys call Hannah and Garrett and Dean, and basically like we had a crazy Thanksgiving. They have a group call, it ends, but what we don't see is that Dean is with Allie Hayes. Who saw that coming? Everybody. This episode really rushed through Garrett's whole thing. I feel like there should have been more time kind of explaining his backstory a bit. But anyway, episode 6. Now, Alley Cat and Dean De Laurentiis are in New York. And the reveal was super obvious, and they play Sue Me by Audrey Hobart. They basically give us a whole backstory about how they met, and Alley Cat spills her feelings to Dean about Sean. And Dean, if she wants a distraction, she should just call him when she's ready. And yeah, so they start hooking up literally everywhere, like anywhere, everywhere, anywhere. Alley Cat needs to go to New York for her family's Thanksgiving, so she rides with Dean and another frat boy. And her and this other frat boy start singing Oh My God, You Guys by Legally Blonde the musical, as they should. It's very good. They hook up again in New York using chess as foreplay, which never been done before. And I give them points for creativity, but knight to e4 was a better move. After the group call that they have, she realizes that she doesn't want to mess up her relationship with Hannah, so they call it off. Hannah says she loves Garrett, and Garrett says that he loves Hannah back, and they hook up. Later, Alley Cat speaks to Hannah, and she's like, I don't know, my mom was a lot of love or whatever. And she's doubting that she's gonna fall in love or whatever. And Wellesley is like, no, you're gonna really have a great love in your life. Logan asks Graham Cracker for his dad's money so that they can do this fundraiser for youth hockey kids, because hockey is an expensive sport. Garrett shoots this down and says they'll basically find another way. And Logan's like, okay. Hannah sees Justin perform their song, or his song. Everyone loves it but her. And she basically confronts Justin, and she's like, we need to rewrite this song because this is crazy. I hate it so much, and it's not good at all, and the lyrics don't even make sense. And Justin's like, well, I really like this song, and I don't want to make another one because it sounds like me, and I'm really proud of it. He kind of just walks off. And I feel like Hannah was in the wrong and probably should have apologized to Justin. If she wasn't giving any input into the whole songwriting process. I feel a little bad for Justin because he was literally doing it alone. And I do think she was low-key right about the lyrics. Like, the song is a nothing burger. But if she isn't allowing herself to be vulnerable, it's not really her song. The lyrics might be personal to him. So I just feel like this whole argument was a little mean. Okay. Dean sends a message to Allie to meet him in the photo booth because they've been avoiding each other all night. And basically, they agree to keep their relationship a secret. Hannah wants Graham Cracker to open up to the frat boys about his father. Dean De Laurentiis hooks up with Allie, but Alley Cat kicks him out because Hannah needs her more, and that's good girlfriend etiquette. That girl and that friend has a space between it. When Dean forgets his jacket, Allie opens the door to Sean, and Sean sees her, and she looks good, and he starts crying. Hannah hears mention of Aaron Delaney, who is her abuser, and she has a panic attack in the street. Episode 7, Allie leaves a voice message for Sean. You know what? I'm not covering Allie and Sean anymore. I don't care. Hannah is having a panic attack, so she is listening to music to drown out her thoughts and looking through her old lyric journals from high school. Garrett runs into his father. That always makes him spiral before a game, so he texts Hannah to help him out of it. Allie meets Joanna through one of the frat boys, and Joanna is basically like this big time actress that Alley Cat is obsessed with, who we haven't heard anything about until now. Garrett faces off against Aaron Delaney, and Garrett has trouble getting his head in the game. You gotta get your head in the game. Hannah finds her teacher, David. Do you remember him? It's okay. You don't have to lie. I know you forgot about him. It's all right. She tells him that she's dropping out, and David asks her to stay, but really he doesn't gaff. Like, he does not gaff. Hannah finally gets to the stadium and sees Garrett with Aaron Delaney, and they are about to start the game. Allie films a self-tape with Joanna, and Joanna basically tells Allie that she should be sleeping with other guys. So they go out to a bar where Allie meets no one else other than Mr. Hunter Davenport, which is going by the name of Carter St. James. Joanna pressures them to get together, and Connor kind of just like kisses her on the cheek, and he's like, we don't have to do anything, but just tell her that like this kiss was amazing or whatever, because Allie feels a lot of pressure to impress Joanna. Aaron insults Hannah to Graham Cracker's face, and he's not having that. So Garrett beats the doors off of him, and I can't say it wasn't not fun to watch. So he gets suspended from 6 hockey games, and the coach drags Garrett to the locker room because, mind you, he's team captain still, and they're in a game. Phil is proud of him, which actually worries Garrett, then actually makes him more upset than if he lost the game. Hannah is also upset at Garrett for putting his season at risk over something that she says doesn't affect her anymore. And Garrett breaks up with her, and it was so sad. He breaks up with her because he's too similar to his father. And Hannah calls her parents and ruins a perfectly good game of Scrabble that hasn't even started yet. Allie hugs Hannah on the couch, and episode ends, and we get to the final. I do think that the actress that plays Hannah, Ella Bright, is a good actress, but they don't give her much material to work with, and that's very typical for like romantic series. But I do think this show would have been more interesting if the protagonist had more of a personality. Allie is going to be the next main character of the next season, and I feel like they've done so well establishing her personality and who she is that it kind of felt like Hannah was lacking in. I don't know if that's something that's typical, that's consistent with her character in the books, but something I noticed. Now to the finale. During philosophy, Hannah and Garrett sit on opposite sides of the room, which is a parallel to when they were sitting together. At Malone's, some hockey players ask for a new server because Hannah has a hands-off rule on her. Hannah storms into the locker room with a bunch of butt-naked men, And I don't know why every time she enters the locker room, she's surprised to see men being naked. Like, what were you thinking? Like, I wonder what were we expecting? Someone else on the team started a rumor that Garrett would beat the doors off of anyone who talks to her, which honestly, from what we've seen of Garrett, is not an unfounded conclusion. Not completely. I don't think he would do it, but Garrett tells her that he didn't do it and she can be with anyone that she wants. And honestly, his acting there, heartbreaking. I don't even like Garrett that much. Don't get me wrong, he's great. But I don't even like him that much, and I felt like I might sob a little bit when he gave the sad puppy dog eyes and was like, "You can be with anyone you want." I was like, okay. I felt so bad. Anyway, Garrett at his disciplinary hearing, he's wearing a little tux, is in trouble for beating the doors off of Aaron Delaney, but he's also in trouble for practicing with the Bruins before he signs. So his team has to forfeit all of their games, which means Logan on top, he becomes the new team captain. Hey! Which actually, to me, makes more sense than Garrett being team captain, but I don't know. All right, next page. Garrett likes a video of Hannah singing from high school. She gets a notification and it reminds her of the pop showcase. She explains her traumatic past to Allie, and they have a really heartfelt scene where Hannah had told her a story about her trauma under the guise that it happened to one of her friends. Allie tells her that she always knew it was her story and she just wanted to wait for when she was ready. And it was so sweet. Garrett considers dropping hockey, and honestly, I really don't know why he doesn't, because we only have evidence that he hates it up until this episode. But then Hannah's like, "You could be anywhere else, but you're still here on the hockey rink." And he's like, "Yeah, you're right. Like, I kind of low-key love it." Garrett apologizes to Logan about his dad, and I honestly thought they were gonna have more of a conflict with each other, and I thought they were gonna fight at some point, because from Logan's perspective, he has to work for everything that he gets out of the sport, and Garrett kind of has it handed to him, so they have kind of an inbuilt conflict in their characters, in the fact that they're kind of opposites of one another, but it doesn't come up. I didn't want interesting characters. It'll come up later, I'm sure. Garrett watches the team play and sees a little boy wearing his jersey, which makes him feel he should be a part of hockey. Hannah heads over to the showcase and to perform, and David didn't actually give a gaff to take her spot away, and so she can still do the performance. Hannah gives her solo performance, which is like very pitch perfect, where she like recorded a bunch of sounds around the campus to use and incorporate in her song. And I don't really think it's a pop song. I would actually think it's like hyper pop, and it doesn't sound that great. Ella Bright, once again the actress, she has a really pretty voice, and I thought that they would go for something that's more old school, because her and Garrett kind of connect on having an affinity for old school music. So I thought like a sad pop solo would have suited her voice, or maybe another cover of Elton John that's more like melodic or something would have suited this moment more. I know the lyrics are very like matter to her situation specifically, which is fine. The lyrics were fine. It was just the sound of the song that was off for me. I thought that they would go more old-fashioned, more old school, because that's what they like. Anyway, one of the boys is trying to find a replacement for the hockey players, and they want Hunter Davenport. But Dean DeLaurentis says no Hunter Davenport. Why does he say this? We don't really know. Logan hunts down Hunter because he's the only one who cares about hockey, I guess. None of these dudes put their egos aside to care about the sport that they play in, except for Logan, because he genuinely has to. Alley Cat sees Carter, aka Hunter Davenport, and she doesn't want anything from him except to sleep with him to fulfill her deal with Dean DeLaurentis, where they sleep with other people and figure out if this is something they actually want, or if they just like the, "oh my god, you guys, aspect of it. At Malone's, Hannah reveals that she has a paid internship, which is not real for my mental health. Alley Cat reveals that she slept with someone else. And Dean De Laurentiis reveals that he didn't sleep with anyone else because he likes her. And then who walks through the door except Hunter Davenport? And Allie immediately sighs when she sees Hunter, and she's like, oh no, which means Dean figures out that it was Hunter, and they start fighting. And that's the end of Off Campus season 1. You know, these 2 shows had $5 in a dream. You know, one of them accomplished a lot. It may not have been this show, but they tried. Now, honestly, I honestly don't think all of this show is bad. I think some things could have been improved on for sure. But Garrett is by no means a realistic depiction of a guy. But I honestly have come around to thinking that that's not entirely a bad thing. And if you, audience, already deals with not even the depiction, but the actual effects of toxic masculine culture in real life, then maybe they should be given some reprieve from it in their fictional shows. And I also think men, women alike need a representation of masculinity that isn't toxic. There's a way to be a man that doesn't necessitate toxicity. I think it's kind of perfect because I think a lot of what people like about Hated Rivalry is that it doesn't do kind of what the genre asks of it, which can sometimes include some toxicity. And then also in this show, you have a lot of male characters who aren't toxic. And I think that's shown in their depiction of Allie as this really good friend, and they don't try to judge her like the way that they've written her. The other thing is, though, in real life, hockey is not what it's depicted as. There has been some cases where women were not treated with the utmost respect that they are in the show. And while the audience members can get some reprieve in real life, I don't think the NHL as an organization should be getting this amount of good PR from both of these shows. Not completely deserved, but... And that's the last of Off Campus. And my final question is, why is it called Off Campus? Just genuinely, why is it called that? Everything happens pretty much on campus. I mean, the ice hockey rink is the university stadium. Why is it called Off Campus? I guess I gotta end the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. I'm trying to make money. Also, I need to win back my investments from printing out this many papers. If you want more videos where I print out a massive amount of paper and scare the guy at CVS, you've got to subscribe. My back hurts. My back hurts from carrying this channel on my back. I think Pride is soon. Happy Pride, guys. We were checking in with the straights. You know, a couple of the straights. They're okay. Do you guys like Kindle up here? I couldn't find a good Kindle. There's just not that many. If you know a good Kindle, please donate them. Bye. See you next week. See you. Bye.